Hey everyone, it's Sarah here from Spiritual Events and Directory, and Victoria again. Okay, hey. So we're going to have not a quick chat. We'll go as long as my daughter, I don't know, she's asleep in bed. Hopefully she doesn't wake up. So we're just going to have a chat. We're going to talk about Victoria. I want to sort of dive a little bit deeper into Victoria, who is Victoria, and she's like, oh my God, I'm scared. And just a bit about your journey. So firstly, Victoria, can you just explain to the viewers like what you do, what exactly you do in the spiritual field?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm Victoria Cochrane and I live on the northwest coast of Tasmania, and I am a psychic channel and a clairvoyant, a Advanced Theta Healing practitioner, a Reiki Master. So predominantly I do a lot of things. What do I do? Well, really I am a psychic, and I can see everything with my third eye that I can't see with my naked eye. So when I tune in, I can do it very quickly, and I can see everything in a person's aura, and I can travel back to a past life or a past time to see what happened. I can move into the future. I can even now tune into people who are related to that person. So if a person came and said, could you do a reading about my daughter, without interfering in their free will, I can just tune in and see what they're like. I see what their energy's like and just do a bit of a future reading for them. Pretty amazing, because I've only been doing this for 10 years. Before that, I had no idea that I had the ability. So, that's a whole story in itself.
Well, I'm going to just ask you, because I think it's interesting of what you used to, or what your career was. So what was it that you did before? You sort of stepped into this full time.
Yeah, that's right. I lived in Victoria, and I went to Church of England Girls Grammar School and grew up in Lower Templestowe and all of that. And then I went to Teachers College and became a kindergarten teacher. And I went down to South Gippsland to Loch, Nyora, for my first job and met my husband there. And we didn't get married that year, but we kind of fell in love pretty quickly. And then I moved back to Melbourne to teach at Eltham for a year, and then we did get engaged. And anyway, so then we lived in Victoria for a while down at Yanaki, and we had 2 children. Moved over to Tasmania dairy farming, and then we had another child over here. So I was a teacher, and then I did a lot of study over that time and got my Bachelor of Education, my Tasmanian Literacy Teacher's Certificate, and master's degree, and then it did a second master's degree. So I have actually 2 master's degrees, a master's by coursework and a master's with honours. Very interested in the explicit teaching of literacy, and so I retired from teaching last year because I've been doing this for a while and trying to fit it in everywhere, and it just seemed to be the right time when I was told I was going back on class after being a literacy coach for 2 years. I was thinking, I'm too old for that. And I know you shouldn't say that you're too old, but in terms of going back on class, I didn't think I would have the energy. So it just seemed like the right time. I'll just go on to say that 10 years ago, or it might have been a little bit, it seemed like a few years where I was smelling cigarette smoke around me all the time, and no one else could smell it. And so I went to psychics, because I used to think, I think I could be psychic, and no idea. And it was my grandfather who did die of emphysema, and he actually came in and I started to receive messages from him. The first one was about salary sacrificing. He was a chartered accountant, so kind of made sense. And so he came in, and I was having flashes of blue on my glasses, and weird things happened around me. My brother called me a science experiment once, so that just kind of, I didn't take much notice. And it was Archangel Michael trying to tell me that he was with me. So about a week after Pa came in, I saw an ad for a spiritual development course, and I just knew that I had to do it. And that's where I learned a lot of what I do now. And after that, I did Reiki 1 and 2. I recommend Reiki to everybody because it's a way of channeling energy, and it's a very gentle healing modality. And if you think that you've got an awakening happening, it's a way of learning to control it. And then I did Theta Healing and Advanced Theta Healing. So Theta Healing is... it was brought in by a person called Vienna Steibel in 2000, and it's using the theta brainwave to achieve a deeper state of meditation and to connect to the highest consciousness of God. Now, to me, God is a consciousness. It is our highest consciousness, and it's one of unconditional love and the highest truth. And it's not related to religion, although the Christ consciousness is Jesus, and I work with him all the time. And so through that connection to Jesus, we can achieve that highest consciousness. So in that state, I happen to be really a good speller where I can visualize the spelling words. So if you can visualize like that, that's how I think clairvoyance starts, because clairvoyance, people say, is looking into the future, but no, clairvoyance is seeing everything with the third eye that you can't see with the naked eye. And so I'm very good clairvoyant. I just happen to be able to see everything, with my third eye. And I'm also very good at just not tuning into people. I'm really not empathic unless I'm meant to be. Like occasionally I'll get someone's headache or some kind of sensation if I'm meant to know so that it can be healed. But otherwise I'm very good at just being completely oblivious, which is a blessing really, because I don't want to know everybody else's stuff, and people don't want me tuning into all their private business either. So
exactly. So do you do anything to stop that, or is that just naturally you just don't tune in? There are lots of, sorry, go on. No, you're all right. So if there's somebody watching that's like, oh my God, is that what's happening to me? Like I might be feeling other people's stuff. Is there something that you can sort of share today to help them?
Absolutely. The first thing I want to say is that there's nothing that you could ever tell me that I wouldn't believe. So if something is happening or you're having an awakening and you have no idea what to do, or there's spirits in the house or whatever's happened, honestly, I'll listen to you and I'll take you seriously. But yes, I did learn a few things, even in the first course that I did, about just zipping our aura up, because our aura is our energy field. And people who are a bit more sensitive to other people's energies will feel people in their space. You know, if someone gets a bit close to you, sometimes it's just uncomfortable. But if you're empathic, then you actually feel them, and it can give you a lot of sensations. And if that person has got something attached to them, or they're in a bad mood or something like that, it can make you anxious, and it can actually draw on your energy as well. So just keeping our aura clear and zipping up our aura, but keeping grounded, that would be the main thing. You know, feet hit the floor in the morning, to push your energy down, to zip your aura up, and to just give thanks and blessings and be grateful for what you have rather than, you know, what you don't have. And that kind of thing is really important for just keeping yourself clearer. But also using tools like essential oils. I won't show you my collection, but I have a huge one. And also crystals or anything like that can be useful. But there's nothing compared to the intention of how you go about each day and how grateful you are and how much love you're giving out, because what we put out, we get back. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Money is energy. Water is energy. Everything vibrates at a certain frequency, and the lower our vibration, the lower of things will attract to us. So the higher our vibration, then the better off we'll be. So that will be the quick one.
And that's where the wisdom comes, I guess, when you really do realize that. So when things are not going as smoothly as they they can normally go, then that's when you kind of look at yourself, isn't it, and go, well, where am I at within me and my vibration? And that's when you start lifting yourself up. Doing those.
Well, the awakened person or the aware person will immediately stop when they have a reaction to someone. And instead of blaming that person, we'll go, what is it in me that is making me respond or react that way? And that is the difference between a person who's in a higher vibration and a person who's not yet. And everybody will get there, but we're all on a bit of a journey of learning and discovery. I read the other day, someone said we're not really on earth to learn our lessons, we're on earth to be aware. But I would argue that we need to learn our lessons first to get to a stage where we can be aware.
Yeah, that's right. And
then to get to that. Yeah, that's right. And then the more aware we are, the more responsibility we can take and show, and the more capable we are of doing that, of taking responsibility for our own actions. So, but we all have that wisdom. We all have the ability to be psychic, and if anybody can show that, it's me, because I had a lot of illness. I had a lot of health issues after I had the children, and I was in not a very good place there for a while, but there was also a lot of emotional baggage. Hello to my mother and father who are watching, because they would tell you that I was always in love with love and extremely loved, but never feeling good enough or loved enough. And where that came from wasn't from them. It was from a past life or something my soul was carrying. And it took me 51 years to call myself Victoria. I'm Victoria Margaret, and never really felt good enough to be carrying that name that I always thought was extremely regal and wasn't good enough for it. So, and now I can't stand Vicky. Always called myself Vicky. Mum and Dad couldn't stand it, so they called me Tor, which I love. But now people who've known me as Vicky still call me that, and I really know I'm Victoria now. But really, that's me having lifted enough emotional baggage to accept myself and to know that I deserve that name. And so because I've done that and I've gone through that journey, I just really am so excited, and so I feel so grateful that it's happened, that I like to help other people do the same, because it's such an empowering thing. And sure, they can come and see me for help and everything, but we get to a stage then where that person's empowered enough to go and help other people, and so it should go. And that really is how we're going to save the world, if we all, instead of being gurus and just everybody coming to us, is about sharing the wisdom so that everybody can be in their own guru-ness. And everybody kind of helps each other, which is the whole point of the exercise, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you mentioned your hubby. I just had a thought when you said him before. So you met him when you were obviously been together for a lot of years. So you sort of started your spiritual journey or waking up while you were with you. The look on your face, like, what are you going to ask me?
No. It's actually, it's like, who are you and what have you done with my wife, our mother, our daughter?
Like, how was that? Like you started waking up and he's still him. So and you're still together, obviously. How was that?
Are.
Yeah.
Well, Richie, I might just get a photo and just shove it up in, Richie and I still, this was just on our cruise. So this is my beautiful husband. I was probably a little bit blurry. There you are. Yeah, so that's Richie.
Oh, beautiful.
35 years now. Yeah, it is a nice photo. We've been married 35 years now. We have 3 sons. Chris, with a K, who is 33. Tristan, who's 31 and engaged, and our youngest one, Will, 28, and he's going to be a father, which is very exciting. And so they were just young, like they didn't grow up with their mother being psychic or anything like that. So it was a bit of a shock for everybody. But Richie's noticed how more confident I am, how I don't react as much, how I get over things, and I'm not so as insecure anymore. When I first came into this, I was working as a literacy teacher in the Christian system, and I wasn't working for the schools. I was as an advisor coming in. And so, of course, I didn't tell them what I did. And when they did find out, the people who knew me and loved me didn't make any difference. But for a lot of them, suddenly I wasn't allowed to teach children anymore. It was just like, how was I different from one second to the next? And so that judgment really wrecked me for a while. And it just took a while for me to be able to get myself out on Facebook and just say, look, this is me, and I understand if you don't believe it, and that's absolutely fine with me. We all have a right to believe what we want to believe, but it's helping a lot of people, and it's actually helped me heal and to be a lot stronger and to love and accept myself. And so now I don't hide it, and I just say to people, this is what I do. And if they say, oh, that's not my thing, it's absolutely fine. It shouldn't be an issue of what you believe is whether you're liked or not, but that's what it seemed to be like for a while.
Yeah, I think we all go through that. Yeah,
a lot of people would be able to resonate with that. But it also comes back to the law of attraction. If you're judging yourself, you're allowing other people to judge you. And so even if you don't know you're judging yourself or not loving yourself, if that's what's coming back to you, that's what you need to be reflecting on. But I have noticed that, getting back to my family, that the more I stand in it, the more they just accept it. My beautiful mother says, are you doing your magic today? And I say, yeah, I'm doing my magic today. Mum, that's no worries. But they love it. They're totally intrigued by it. My sister's just, witch's coven here. Can you please just clear all the energy? And her husband last birthday wanted healing from me for a present, which was just beautiful. My brother's kind of gone from, what's that about, to standing in front of my stall at a psychic fair and just spruiking me and just, so they accept it because that's what I love to do and they love me. And my husband doesn't really believe it, really. He's still a bit sceptical, but he sees how I help people and how much I love it. And also he's gone from worrying about the money to just saying you need to do it because you love it. So, yeah, it's all to do with, it all starts with self, and that's what I say in my spiritual wisdom hour every week, is the saviour of the world is loving ourselves. If we can't love ourselves, we can't love anybody else or expect them to love us back. And so it is about just starting to clear out the gutters and all the rubbish to see that even if we're, our looks aren't the best or whatever, it's who we are inside, and we can't take anything with us except our integrity and the fact that we'll be missed when we're gone. And so I think that's a really important thing to come back to, is who are we and what are we leaving behind when we go, and are people going to love us and miss us? And that to me is the most important thing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we've got a comment. I can't see who anyone's names are. A few people are saying hello. It's just coming up Facebook user for some reason. But anyway, I'll pop it up so you can see it, and you can see it just says Facebook user. Can you read that, Victoria?
Okay.
I love this.
This.
Yeah.
You read it.
I was the same, and I used to be ashamed and embarrassed about what I did for a while because of what others said. How silly I was. Now I just do me and do it well. Well done, whoever you are. I'll have to have a look at that comment. So, right, you probably know them.
I did see the name Jeanette Marie, and she is the psychic, and she has Mystic Realm and everything. And she's gone through the whole kind of same thing, and it's really hard. But look, you go into a psychic fair or somewhere like that, and there's 10 readers and then there's healers, and I just go in there and I'm really grateful now, and people will find the person who's right for them and who vibrates at their frequency, and if they don't, then they'll be out of sorts and they'll find someone else. So there's someone for everyone, and there's a whole wide world out there of people who just find each other because they're meant to, or in the same soul family. So you know, if this doesn't resonate with some people, they'll listen to someone else, and, you know, it doesn't worry me anymore because the people who need me will find me. And I just love doing what I do. And so the leap of faith getting back to your question about what did I do previously, I haven't missed teaching at all. If I see children that I taught or some of the staff, then yes, I do miss that. But I am just loving stepping into this space and having time to do the spiritual wisdom hour and all, you know, just being able to go into the little room that I have in Wynyard. And now I'm going up to Launceston once a month too, and working at Second Nature Wellness up there. And so it's all just, and getting time, well, I'd like more time to write my 4th book. So perhaps we could do a giveaway I've got some things to give away talking about books, if you want to go into that.
Yeah. I was going to next go into your exclusive that you're offering. Firstly, I'll just tell everyone as well, the reason why we're doing this interview, obviously, because I love Victoria and she's part of the Spiritual Events Directory expert team. So she has her show every week, which is the Spiritual Wisdom Hour on what day? Thursday?
12 o'clock Wednesday.
So if you want to tune into her every week, and also you can find her on YouTube as well. So we pop that on YouTube as well every week. But Victoria is advertising in the next publication, which comes out in December this year, which runs from December to February and quarterly thereafter. And she's also writing an article, so that's exciting. What's the article about? Can we give a little sneak peek of the article?
The article's about get out of your story. I've had, because we all have a story, and when you do theta healing, Vianna Stibel says that the story is just brain candy. But the story is very important. People's stories are very important, and it's not to discount what's happened to them. But when I do a healing, the story just mucks me right up. It's all about looking for the energy of that person and the deep beliefs that they're holding, because everything we create in our life is based on our belief system. So, and that I would know that whether I had done theta healing or not. What we create our own reality with every thought form and every belief that underpins that. And so if we believe that we're not good enough, then we'll create that. And if we believe that we're never going to have any money, then we won't. And, you know, some things happen because we've got soul contracts that lock us into learning lessons, and sometimes we don't need that anymore. There are lots of things that happen because of other things. But when we're stuck in the story and we're just going back, like I've had a few people say, well, this has happened, and they keep going back to the story, and why did it happen, and why have I done it? Well, that's not going to get you forward. You need to be able to kind of cut ties with that and say, okay, well, this has happened, but what have I learned from that, and how can I move forward, instead of it's just like, well, if you're always stuck in the story, you're never going to make a new story. And so that's what my article is about, because I've just found that people are, you know, a little bit stuck in the story. And some people have been through some terrible things. I'm not discounting that at all. But to help them to survive that, I need them to be able to lift themselves out of the story and to be able to move forward that way. So that's what the article is about.
Isn't it? It's about being an observer. I finally get that. Like, I heard that a lot, like, you know, you're being an observer and being outside yourself and looking in, and I finally get it. So that's good. So, you know, eventually it happens. Yeah.
That's right. Just take yourself out for a little while, and if you were just looking down, like an archangel is or something, what would you see, and what would you be able to change without being immersed in it from an emotional point of view? And that's the wonderful thing about being a human is that we all have beautiful emotions, but they can clog us up as well, and sometimes they just get in the way. So take it all. If you took it all out of the kitchen sink and just had the issue in the kitchen sink with no emotions or anything around it, what would you be able to do then? And so, but you have to be in a headspace to do that, and some people aren't, and that's where people like me come in to help. But
exactly. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. Now we've got the exclusive. What's your exclusive for everybody that's watching?
My exclusive offer is that I am going to reduce the price of healings and readings next week because now that I'm working just solely in this and I don't have, a teacher's wage, I've had to put my prices up a bit. So I normally charge $60 for half an hour and $110 for an hour, but I'm cutting my hour down to $90. And all you need to do is just book in before next Saturday, mention Spiritual Events Directory, and you'll get the cut price. So the thing about me is I have a little room in Wynyard, but because I'm the channel, I don't need to be face-to-face with you. So we can video call, talk over Skype or anything, and the energy works just the same because I'm just witnessing and holding you in intention. So it works over the phone, it works on video calls. So don't feel that you can't have an appointment with me if you don't live near me. Exactly. So that's the exclusive offer. And half-hour readings will be $50 instead of $60. So just for 1 week only. And, just book through Sarah and she'll put you in touch with me. Yeah.
Lovely.
But please put your phone if they could just put their phone number so I can give them a call because otherwise too many messages backwards and forwards.
Yeah, exactly. And Victoria's done a few healings for me through the journey that I've been going through. And so I can say that she is amazing and it's helped me shift a lot of things and the situation is shifting too. So that's really cool. So I really appreciate that. And my mum was the one that actually, wasn't she? It's funny because I've known you for ages and then mum got a healing with Victoria and she's like, oh my God, my shoulder feels really good. Because she'd been feeling pretty, as you know, and after your healing, she felt really good. So that's why I'm like, I'll have to get one. And that's how really, we started the show and everything.
Yeah. So a lot of the work I do readings and I can use cards and I can tune in, but a lot of the work I do is about working in the emotional body and looking for the emotional trauma that's causing physical symptoms. And you can read Louise Hay, lovely lady that passed away just recently. All her work was based on what we hold in our physical body that is not a physical body issue. And so things like fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue and all those, they do have a lot of emotional trauma attachments to them. But if you looked up every physical illness just about, there's an emotional attachment to it. So a lot of that work is I would be looking for the trauma that's attached, and then the person might still need to go to the doctor or might still, I'm not a medical person, I can say what I see, but I would still say go to the doctor or whatever. They might still need surgery or whatever, but when they're all unclogged from all the emotional trauma, then it's a lot easier for the body to heal.
Exactly. Yeah, no, awesome.
So,
and you've got some giveaways as well. So what are you? What do they need to do? Just comment. Maybe just comment on this video.
Maybe comment. Maybe we'll do it.
Sorry, I'm going to even though it's even though it's live in here. That's why you do your shows. You like to talk. Even though it's live in here, I'm also going to pop it on Spiritual Events, but I'm just going to do the replay on there so that other people will be watching too. So we'll take the comments from both. And then we'll choose the winner.
Yes. And you can do that because normally you choose a number or something, don't you, and count.
I do, the number generator. I'll just
So a lot of what I do, well, I talked about how Pa came in and I channeled him and he started teaching me how to receive. And it's just like a thought that's not your own, really. So it's just, and it's so funny because I could be driving home and thinking, I'll just call in and see so-and-so, and suddenly I'll just get they're not home. It's like, oh, thanks for that. And so, you know, I didn't think that. It's just the message was coming through. I was doing a reading the other day and I was tuning in to find out what was going on with the person, and I got a sensation on my leg, and that's Archangel Michael. He burns my foot on my ankle, and he was just giving me some more information about. So I am clairvoyant, but I'm clairaudient, I'm clairsentient, and it just I just encourage people, if you know which clair is the best for you, then work on that one, and then others will keep developing. So channeling was my thing, and I was receiving messages from the masters, and I work with the masters of the Cosmic Council. So when I started teaching people, then another circle of masters came in called the Circle of Light or the Circle of Illumination, and they're kind of the same masters but just in different form. So Christopher Columbus has been Joseph, Jesus' father. He's lived a life as Christopher Columbus. This is Saint Germain. So Saint Germain has lived many lifetimes as, I think Francis of Assisi might be another one of his lifetimes. So the masters come in as different forms. So the first one was about, I talk a lot about ascension. I work with the world and the violet flame, trying to kind of negate negative energies. So the first one was a series of channelings just around ascension and the light body. The next one is about, more about the light body and our soul journey. And this one is actually about other worlds, and I have been to them in meditation. So I've got those 3 books to give away. And I've also done a DVD on, I've said to my friend Gary now that they all need to come out onto USB, because people don't really buy DVDs much anymore. But this is a series of light source meditations where he captures light spectrums in glasses of water. And for people who find meditation difficult, this is a good one where you can just watch it. And he's put music to it by Christopher Lloyd, Lloyd Clark. And I've got some channelings over the top. So this is all worth about, $60 or $70 or so. So I've got 3 of these packs to give away. So if anybody would like one, maybe they could just type "books, please" or something like that, and then we'll know that they, that would be great. So what were we going to do? Maybe
do you want to do a couple of cards? We've been half an hour. I can't hear a screaming baby yet, so we can. She's probably playing in my room. She's probably climbed off the bed, and trashing the room. She climbs off now, so cute. But no, she'll be right.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can do a couple of cards. Yeah.
Okay. We do that for anyone in particular, or will I just kind of? Would you like one?
I do like the collective. There's not. I mean, we've got some people comment. I can't even see. It just says Facebook user. Facebook user. Facebook.
Oh, I've got some. Jeanette Marie said, the second one. Jeanette Marie, Sam Facey. Since working with you, my messages are so much clearer. Jeanette Marie's on there a lot. She loves my books. Temple Forest Michelle. My son calls it my spiritual madness. Sam Facey is a client, but also a friend of mine. You make a huge difference to people, Victoria. I appreciate you. That's really lovely. So there's one here. I go through all that even with my work around weight loss. Yeah, so there's a lot of lovely comments here. So thank you everyone for that.
Do you just want to do one for the collective? Do you just want to do a card, a couple of cards for everybody that's watching? That'll be cool. Okay,
I will. All right. Well, I've got these new cards, Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. I have a lot of Doreen Virtues cards, and somebody asked me, do I still use them? Because Doreen's had a bit of a change of kind of energy. But yes, I do. Yes, I do, because their vibration is from that time when she was working on them. So I think if you've got Doreen Virtues cards, they're still really valid and beautiful. Yeah. So I have a lot of them anymore.
I've seen a packet and I'm like, I'm not buying them.
No, moving forward, right.
Yeah. But if you've got them,
if you've got them, but there are some beautiful cards out now, so Just a few things that I teach on my spiritual wisdom hour is that tarot cards, pendulums, crystals actually come from the first plane of existence. Oh, I've lost you, Sarah. Are you still there?
I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here.
Hello. Oh, there you are. They all come from this. They all are shamanism, and shamanism comes from the fourth plane, and the fourth plane has a lot of mysticism and a lot of beautiful healing energy. Reiki actually is shamanism as well, but have some nasty vows and commitments, such as an eye for an eye, a tooth for tooth, or I have to give away my power to be close to God, or I give up one of my senses to be close to God. So it's best to connect to the unconditional love of Source, which is the Creator, God, the universe, whatever, just to ask for an unconditional love reading for yourself or for whoever you're doing it for. It's fine to read for yourself. Some people say it's not, but it's fine. But it's just doing it in that energy, then you'll get the highest and best answer. And if you're using a pendulum, always know who you're talking to. Don't just ask spirit. It's a big, wide spirit world out there. It could be, the axe murderer from 1825 or something coming to. You just don't know. And you always ask for your highest and best as well, okay? So otherwise, the masters work for the greater good, and they might give you an answer that's not really for your highest and best. So they're my top tips on also keeping your energy clear so that you don't have the spirit world suddenly fly open and all sorts of strange things. And it has happened to people where they get attachments. So always just hold the intention, because with intent it is. That's as soon as you've got the intention, it will be. Hold the intention up and Archangel Michael comes in and clears the energy or whatever. But hold the intention that you're connected to the light, that you're doing an unconditional love reading in the highest and best way for the person's highest and best. Can't go wrong. Well, you're less likely to go wrong. Okay, so this is for the collective. And I'm just asking the Creator to tell me what the topic might be, weight, health, work, love. No, he's just telling me spiritual development and just self. So, okay, so this is for everybody to help them to be the best that they can be. I was doing a reading for a lady yesterday and cards were jumping out all over the place. They can get a bit lively sometimes. Never discount anything. Just if something jumps out or you're trying to do something and it breaks, or just it's a message, you've just got to take notice of the signs. Here we go. The first one is, I saw this one before, community. So we all need a spiritual community, and we need to know that we're never alone, that we have our guides and the Creator and everything with us. But we also need to bring in people who share our interests and who are not telling us that we're dumb all the time or that we're loopy or whatever. So it's about bringing in your spiritual family. And if things are changing for people where relationships are breaking down or they're losing people out of their lives, it's for a reason, because everything changes, and as our vibration rises and as our awareness sharpens, then we do need to kind of move forward, and we stay stuck in the same vibration. People will either come up to meet you or drop away, and it's their choice whether they do what they do, one or the other. So don't ever feel that just because you're awakening someone else can't, that you've got to go down and go back to their vibration. No. Just hold your space, and your community will be there. So, and look, I think Spiritual Events Directory has been wonderful, Sarah, for that. Now you've got lots more experts on, and people are finding the ones that they would truly resonate with, and then they're meeting people through that, and so it's really lovely thing.
Good community.
Yeah. Pardon? Yeah, community. Jeanette, thank you so much. She's making some lovely comments. She says, you bring such an absolute calmness, Victoria Cochrane. I always feel so serene when I interact with you or watch, and it is so nice. Thank you, Jeanette. That's beautiful. Yeah, so, right, the next one. Rest and rejuvenation, but also meditate. And so there's a chapter in my second book, and the Masters, it's talk, listen, pray and meditate, something like that. And, you know, if you're religious, pray to God, you know, always just we need to give permission to be receiving help because we all have free will. But when we meditate, we bring ourselves back into the to our own divinity and to our own sovereignty, and just to bring our energy back to us and just to be. And busy people find that really difficult to, or feel guilty to even sit down and just have a cup of tea and not do anything. But it's really good for our health to actually just take time out in the day. And even if it's just breathing our energy down and bringing up and zipping up the aura and just coming back to self in 30 seconds, that would be fantastic. You know, it's all just about making sure that you give yourself time to come back to you. But also if you are praying or asking questions or asking for help, you'll always be answered. So you can always empty your mind and just see if the answer will come in. But it'll come in different ways. You'll hear a song, or the right person will suddenly come to visit, or a feather will drop down from the sky or something. And the last one is cornucopia, and I see this one as blessings. So when you believe that you can create blessings and abundance in your life, you will. And so it's just about opening up the shutters and saying, thank you, universe, and and just allowing the abundance to come in. If we worry about it, if we're always worried that we won't have enough, or we just block ourselves terribly. So the universe is really abundant, and as human beings we're locked in the physical body, and that only the physical is available, but actually no, we have a lot more available to us if we can just believe it to be so. And Sam says self-love, and that's so important, but also very healthy food there, so eating healthy and, you know, raising our vibrations. There's about 18 different, in this book, the Masters talk about oneness and how we can actually raise our vibrations. And there is, if I may, I might just read some, because living in a state of oneness. So oneness is knowing that we're all connected and that everything that we do affects the whole world, and that we all need to take responsibility for what's happening in the world. See the world as a unified force that is connected to you. Oneness unifies, whereas belief in separateness judges and crucifies. Love yourself. When you love and value yourself, you will treat yourself with the utmost respect. You will then in turn respect all of those around you, including plants, animals and the earth. Think with your heart rather than your mind. And I say this to a lot of people, because if we think with our mind, the monkeys jump around and just have a lovely time and muck us up no end. But if you can actually just bring it down and know it rather than think about it, it's a different kind of a feel, and just kind of access your higher wisdom to just, does it feel right? Trust your gut, you know, don't think about it. That'll just like block you up for eternity. Just like and just breathe in it and just feel, and actually go down that path of what you're thinking about. How does it feel? Does it feel right to you? You know the answer already. Just get out of your head. You know, that's, your mind is your greatest weapon and also your greatest enemy. So, and it houses the ego too. And so get all that out of the way. Raise your vibrations. See everything through a positive lens and with love. The higher your vibrations, the more positive your energies will be. When you change your mindset, the world around you will respond. Do not enter into drama. So it's like being the observer. If you invest in it, then you just create more of it. Remember that everything happens for a reason and there are no coincidences, and you are here to learn. Treasure Mother Earth. See everything as sacred. Treat everything on earth as you would wish to be treated. Eat healthy food. Keep away from pesticides and chemicals. Choose your thoughts and words carefully because that's what you create. Keep grounded and being present in the moment. Release all judgment of yourself and of others, and see each day of your life on earth as a gift, not a right. I really like that one. Drink the wonders of life as they occur all around you. Be grateful for all that you have, no matter how little. Practicing gratitude as a daily ritual will bring abundance into your life much more quickly and with greater force. Give away that which you desire will come back to you threefold. Trust in the laws of the universe. The universe will always work for you, whether it be in a positive or negative way. Be clear on your intentions, but make sure they're positive, because karma is a you-know-what and still exists. So we are kind of coming out of our wheel of karma, but if we lose our way and do something against the free will of others, well, we'll get back on the wheel again. Be in a state of oneness, for the truth will be unveiled to you when you are in your own truth and in a state of peace and love. Nothing is separate. It is all given, and all in the universe are joined in consciousness. So that's kind of all the stuff that I talk about on my spiritual wisdom hour, and that's why I don't do individual readings for people, because I think it's much more useful for people to kind of get something that's useful for everybody. But occasionally people will ask questions that would be helpful for me to answer that, for a lot of people. So I kind of go with the flow and like the interaction with people. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All righty. Awesome. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you for
there. Or see if anybody just wants to make a comment or have any questions.
I don't think there's any more. There's any comments. So I think, is that Jeanette still commenting? Yes, our heart will always guide us in truth.
Yeah.
I can't see the names. Just Facebook user. Facebook.
You can't see the names. No.
No, not in the program. Yeah.
Yeah.
Generally, I can. I'm not sure. Okay. But anyway, I want to mention too, actually I'll flick it up so everyone can see the pretty picture. I'll take me down.
Okay. Oh, she's gone. I can't hear you now. You're gone. Oh, yes. So online pop-up psychic.
Sorry, I did it wrong. I'll go. There you go. You can hear me still now. Alrighty, so we've got the Pop-Up Psychic event happening
on the 28th of September, which I've worked out is AFL Grand Final day, not the best day, and I'm also flying back from Melbourne, but that's okay, we'll make it all work. There are three of us, Angelina, Janita and myself, taking appointments now for half-hour readings for me, between 10:30 and 2:30. You can book in for $50, and Sarah will take. There you go. Did I speak well?
Could you not hear me? I thought I'll just have you, and I'll just talk. You couldn't hear me at all. Okay,
no,
that's all right. That didn't work well. That didn't work well.
Say more about that, Sarah, because you know more about it than I do, really.
Yeah. So I didn't realise it was grand final. I don't follow grand final anymore now that I'm a Queenslander. I grew up in Melbourne, so I probably should know that. But you're Tasmanian, so you're pretty much Victorian, aren't you? So they're all NRL up here.
It'll be fine because the grand final doesn't even get away till about 2:45, so we'll be done by then. It's all fine. It'll work.
And people that want to have a psychic reading, the same people that are going to be wanting to watch the grand final, well, maybe they could possibly be.
Just have to work around it. Yeah. Well, if it doesn't work, we'll just find another day. But at the moment,
but at the moment it's the 28th. So, but you're saying $50 is actually $75.
Oh, is it 75? Sorry. Yeah. Apologies.
Well, Victoria's now $50.
No, they're not.
I won't get into. All righty. So, so if anybody's interested, I'll pop a link in there, or just send me a message, or send Victoria a message if you would like to have a reading with Victoria. So it's all via Zoom, and it's video. So you'll be you two sitting in a room by yourselves, and you can record it as well, which is really, really cool. So you can go back and watch it at any time, because I know myself when I have a reading, I'm just like, I can't remember anything they told me when I walk out, just certain bits. And also it might not be exactly, it's kind of what I wanted to hear, so I might change it a little bit to suit myself rather than it actually be the truth. So this way at least you can go back and watch it and at any time. So that's really cool. So that's that. And
that's a good point, though, just to finish, is that psychic readers can only tell you what's happening in your reality at the time, and things can change depending on the thoughts and decisions that you make in the future. And also, if it's concerning a partner or a boss or anything, then it's not set in stone depending on the decisions they make. So readers can only, and that's quite often I'll ask if I can do a healing on the person and then do the reading, because taking away some of the emotional baggage and changing the belief systems can then actually change the future, because the person's got a different perspective on things. And so, it's quite an interesting kind of a thing. But
the cheeky Facebook user, the comment.
Well, Kate, you can next week. I've got 1 week only of half an hour for $50 and an hour for $90.
Yeah.
Special price. So if you have one with me next week, before, sorry about that, Sarah.
Don't worry about it. I'll just go now. Yeah. No, it's all right.
No.
I'm here to promote you.
Yes, that's right. And Sarah, I just want to speak Sarah too and say thank you, Sarah, because Sarah works really, really hard on all of this and has a little bub crawling around and 2 other children and is busy, but has been wonderful for me, and I really do thank you, Sarah, for being such a good friend. Actually, we've become quite good friends, so even though we've never met in person, but we've known each other a few years now. Yeah,
exactly.
So, so the angel card, the angel card to leave everyone with is a comfort. Archangel Azrael, I'm helping with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. So call on the angels and ask them to help you, because we need to give permission. And then the next one is victory. When you do that, your prayers will be answered. So And don't forget to put up books, please, if you would like to be in the draw to win one of my 3 book packs.
Yeah.
And so how many days have they got to do that, Sarah?
We'll go a week next Saturday.
A week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll run this giveaway along with another one, because I've got to do the next one. I don't know what the next one's going to be, but I've got books and lots of stuff here. I've actually got some tarot cards coming, 3 packs. So I'm like,
right, fantastic.
If they come on Monday, I might do it.
Okay.
But if anyone that's watching, actually, can I just do a little plug? Anybody that's watching, if you've got books, cards, some sort of product that's yours that you would like to get out there more, the best way to do that is, well, not the best way, but a really good way is obviously to do a giveaway. So it's going to be a free promotion for you if you want to give away your products, which also obviously gives you exposure for that product, even if it's a reading or a healing or something like that, some service, a seat to an event, something, send me a message I do that, because I'm really enjoying this. You were talking before about, I know you weren't saying about gratitude, but also giving. Like the more you give, it's just so, it's nice, isn't it? So I think that I'm just going to continue. Yeah, because I'm obviously doing it for launch, but I think I've created, it's just going to continue because it's really good.
Well, actually, just on that, I had a client come in, it's my day in Launceston last week, and for some reason, because I won 3 tins from you of those cards, and I got the love it when I thought, for some reason, I need to take this to Launceston, and it's a lovely lady who's had a big battle but loves what I do, and she writes a lot of positive comments and comes to see me every time I'm there, and just for some reason, I just felt I just needed to give those to her because she's given so much to me and did a video testimonial, and she was thrilled. So I've still got 2 packs of cards myself.
Well,
so
I can send you another one though. Like, yeah, I've actually. Can I just share something, because it's something really exciting about those cards and the author of them. See, I've got like boxes and boxes of them in my garage. Okay, so when I
get them, just while you're talking, I'll go and get them to show.
No worries. So why when I put it out there for anyone that would like to give away things, she said, yep. And she literally brought boxes of these cards to my house. And the reason being is they have her married name on there, and she just wanted to release the energy. And she said that she'd been going through the custody family court for years. There they are with her ex. And literally it sort of just dissolved. She said, once I got rid of that energy and got rid of the cards, they've come to an agreement, and she's finally free after years of just going through that. Yeah, so that's really, really cool. Yeah.
Well, energy will stick with us for goodness forever unless we do release it. And that's what I can see in people's auras. It just is still there if you haven't released it.
Have I got stuff in my aura? I did a big clean out as well, and a lot has released as well. But I was saying to Greg, I think there's still something. Is there anything else that's still here that's attached? And he said, oh, the lawnmower. And I'm like, yes, it is his lawnmower. And it's like, no, it's a house, because we moved into this house together. It's the house.
Yes, I reckon.
So that's the next. I've got to move. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway,
all right.
Everything should open up once we move.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, and thanks to everyone for all your beautiful comments and for watching. And I've got a books please from Jeanette, and Popup Psychics, get onto it, and my special for next week. So.
And maybe weekly show starts.
My weekly show. I'm loving my weekly show. Yeah. The spiritual wisdom Wednesdays at 12 noon.
Exactly. Who's the Facebook user, Sarah? I have just applied to advertise with you. There's someone commented. I just said, I'm like, oh, who's that? That's all right.
I don't know. You'll have to go back and.
That's all right.
I can't see that.
Oh, out of everything.
No,
all right.
That's right.
So
that's it. Thanks, everybody.
And we'll talk to you soon. Bye, Victoria.
Okay. Bye. Thanks for having me.
That's all right. Bye.